Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for appearing before the committee today. The idea that there should be national public lands that belong to and are managed on behalf of the American people is a value that dates back to the founding of our country and is embedded in our Constitution. Generation after generation of Americans have endorsed the idea that our public lands should be managed for the benefit of all Americans to support a wide range of activities. These can include recreation and sportsmen's activities, responsible resource extraction, economic and energy development, conservation of land, wildlife habitat, and watersheds, and to create efficiencies in federal land stewardship. Our nation has also made the commitment that our most significant historical, cultural, and natural sites should be preserved in perpetuity for future generations. Places like the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, Ellis Island, and in my own district, Minuteman National Historical Park, which commemorates the shot, quote, heard round the world, unquote, in the very beginnings of our country. These public lands protect some of the places that have shaped and defined who we are as a people and a country, and would not have been protected without support from the federal government. And the benefits of our public lands continue to shift and evolve over time. We now know that some of our public lands are well suited for new sources of energy, such as solar, wind, and geothermal, and may well be critical buffers as we work to combat the effects of changes to our climate. For all these reasons, we should not dismantle the programs Congress had the wisdom to put in place to help achieve these diverse missions and goals. This includes the Land and Water Conservation Fund, which for over 50 years has carried out a simple bipartisan idea: use revenues from the depletion of one resource, offshore oil and gas, to preserve another, our land and water, using those revenues to promote recreation for all Americans and conserve open space for future generations in the face of development and urbanism. The LWCF achieves its goals in two ways. First, it provides funding to our land management agencies to make new federal land acquisitions, most of which are approved by Congress through the federal appropriations process. This includes helping the agencies to acquire small pockets of private land from willing sellers, most frequently within existing boundaries of existing national parks, wildlife refuges, national forests, and other federal properties. These targeted, modest acquisitions, in holdings as they are called, typically do not require any additional funding or personnel to maintain, and no taxpayer dollars are used to fund this program. Second, LWCF provides matching grants to states and local communities to build trails and neighborhood playgrounds. Over $3 billion in LWCF grants have led to more than $7 billion in non-federal matching grants to build trails and neighborhood playgrounds and give communities access to parks and open spaces. LWCF funds have been used in almost every county in the United States. These federal grants are funded by oil and gas fees. One of our witnesses today, Mr. Randy Newberg, welcome, will be able to tell us more about the very important role of LWCF in protecting access for sportsmen and women. Mr. Newberg is a host of Fresh Tracks on the Sportsman Network. In his show, he travels all over the country documenting hunting trips on public lands. He is also on the board of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and has a keen understanding of the importance of federal land for hunters and anglers. Dismantling this program disadvantages us all in real and significant ways. My constituents and the people across New England deeply value the role of our public lands. In fact, I received almost 150 letters from my constituents ahead of our hearing today in strong support of protecting our public lands. I would like to enter one of those letters into the record.
Without objection.
With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back, and I look forward to hearing from our witnesses.